I'm heading over to our storage facility where we're storing our Airstream between trips. That's where Todd has been working to install a more powerful battery system in our new Airstream. Hello.
Hello. Putting in a panel where I'm going to mount all that Victron equipment. It's going to go right above the shoes, so the shoes will still fit. So that'll give me 4.5 inches, which is all I need.
You really liked the Tradewind and how they did that battery system.
I do.
So that kind of inspired you, right?
Yeah, what's Chad? Chad's RV reviews, when the Tradewind first came out, he's the only one who actually dropped the belly pan to show how they did it. And as soon as I saw that, it's like, that's the right way to do it. It's right, the batteries are right next to the axle. So it's just a great plan.
And what are you accomplishing today?
Well, today I mounted the shelf.
This you just got done making.
Yeah, I did. It's just a piece of 3/4 inch plywood that I'm going to mount the stuff to. This is a little overkill, but better safe than sorry. These just unscrew the bench tops. So I just unscrewed those and then started measuring. It's like, wow, I got a lot of room.
So there was a bench here.
Yep.
Table here.
Yep.
Another bench there. So this is going to be where the power system is?
Yep. Servo GX, I'm thinking will probably be in here. And then the main cutoff switch will be in here. I'll have some fuses, solar cutoff, and then I'll probably also just store fuses and stuff in here. So this little storage compartment is going to be off limits. That'll just be tech stuff.
And that's accessed by a door.
Yep. Yeah, here.
So you'll have access to that.
Yep.
That'll be nice.
And then the inverter is actually going to go right here. So it's going to stick into this area and it's going to stick back here. And then I'll build a little platform that's going to screw in and support that. I'll have a fan that's going to draw air through the inverter and across. So that's my plan. And I just have to implement.
This is a couch with cushions and it's now a workspace.
When we got back from our last camping trip, that was on my checklist, is remove all the cushions. So there's no cushions in here at all. Right. Every cushion, the mattress is out.
Let's pan over to the bedroom here so you can see.
Isn't this the way everybody's bedroom looks?
You've been planning and organizing and...
Yep, and I got a plan worked out, which it turns out that is the wheel well. So the space between the rafters, so to speak, the frame system is right in front of that, which is exactly above where I want to put the inverter.
You're talking about from underneath.
From underneath. So my batteries are going to be mounted like here and here. Okay. 2 460 amp hour lithium ion, and they'll be mounted here and here. And the wires are just basically going to go from there up here. So they'll be about, I don't know, maybe 3 feet long total, which is great. You want those wires as short as possible.
Can we go out and look at the bed pan?
Well, the pan I don't have here. The pan is at home.
Okay, I'll get a picture of that. I see you've got something there. Yeah. Something you've made.
And it is. So this is the belly pan cover that goes underneath the RV to cover up the batteries when they get mounted. So Matt helped me make this. Actually, Matt kind of made it for me. And I insulated it.
Nice.
And tomorrow, Uncle Terry is going to help me dry fit it, just to make sure everything works according to plan. This is going to cover up the batteries. So the batteries will be, basically here and here. Actually, the batteries are right there. We've got those things charging, getting ready to get installed. So 920 amp hours total at 14 volts. So it's like 12 kilowatt hours.
I know you're trying to beat the weather. It's starting to get cold.
It's dark.
Dark. So
daylight savings, it makes it get dark at 5 o'clock.
You've been really working hard. I appreciate it.
Doing all the work with a headlamp. Because there's no power in the RV either, so I can't even use the lights on the inside. But I'm very happy with my headlamp, so that's good.
And we can go under. You can show where you're going to put it?
Sure.
Okay.
So these foam things are wonderful for being able to crawl underneath here. All right, so let's see if I can give you some context. So campsite, just in front of the dual axle. So you should be able to see both axles there. I'll come underneath here. I've cut out the belly pan, and you can see the heat ducting hanging down right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount some crossbars here and then hang down some unistrut to support the batteries. The white thing you see right there is some rolled rubber roofing just to add insulation, because that's right where the battery posts are going to be. If something were to go terribly wrong and the batteries were to bounce, I don't want them to touch anything conductive. Pretty soon this whole area will be covered just like the belly pans for the water tanks. I built some pieces that look just like that. It's going to go right here. Matt helped me with that. Thank you very much, Matt. So you see the gas lines over there? The gas lines used to be mounted right here in this space. So I moved the gas lines before our last trip all the way over to the other side so that they wouldn't be in the way. That's the plan. It might work, it might not.
So much going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
But you enjoy this.
I do. It's fun to succeed.
He's got an engineering brain.
Good thing.
And yeah, you can keep all this straight. This is all like foreign language to me. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll be able to go for a week or more.
Yeah.
Boondocking. I had to cut a hole in the floor. That was a big one today.
Oh, that's commitment.
Today was commitment. So
Right?
right there. There is a hole in our floor.
Take a deep breath.
Yes, it was really tough to cut that hole, I gotta tell you.
I gotta get it right,
Yeah, I gotta
right?
do it. So that is going to be where the battery cables are going to come from.
Here we are in the camper. Todd's going to give us a little insight into the work he's been doing on our battery system. He's been upgrading to lithium. This is kind of talking a little bit about the work you've been doing on the inverter, right?
Sure. So you can see we're kind of in the dinette area, and everything is kind of going on right here. So in the back part of the dinette, I cut a slot in the support structure here, and then I built a shelf that is super heavy duty to support the inverter, because the inverter is really heavy. So this box right here is like super strong.
And that's the inverter?
This is the
And
inverter
that's
right
going to
here.
get mounted right here.
It's gonna go right here, like that.
And this we already had, right? We pulled this out of our ePro.
Yeah.
You're reusing that, which saves some money. And we're using the batteries.
Yep, reusing the batteries. That was the biggest savings.
And the fact that you're installing this is also saving us
I
some
can't
money.
imagine how much we'd have to pay somebody to do what I'm doing. This is kind of crazy. So I'll just put this stuff kind of where it's going to go.
And what is this stuff?
This is the Lynx distributor. It's going to go right there.
Okay. And I'm noticing this is all Victron.
Yep, all Victron. Solar controller is going to go there. DC to DC converter there. The shunt is going to go here, next to that. So then the battery cable will come up here, and then there will be a safety ground bus bar here. That's where the earth ground will be. So everybody can tie into that. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. The Servo GX, which is kind of the brains of the unit, that's actually going to go right above the cutoff switch. The cutoff switch and everything, that'll go here. That's still at home because that's what I do in the evenings.
Is what?
Move those pieces around, trying to figure out how to arrange everything.
It looks pretty.
It's getting there.
Yeah. You created this platform here, didn't you? You
Yep.
made it.
Yeah, the whole shelf.
And painted it.
Yep.
It looks really nice. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, now we're outside the RV, and Todd's going to climb under and explain a little bit about how he's going to install the batteries using the Tradewind, which is also an Airstream, as inspiration.
Yep. All right. So the belly pan was normally just like this here, and that went all the way across. So I cut out this section of the belly pan, and you can see I've got about 5 inches of frame exposed here. And then I've installed this cross brace here, and the cross brace is going to have another cross member So the cross brace is going to go like this, and that's where the batteries are going to hang from. It's right from there. And that goes all the way across. There'll be 2 big lithium batteries, and they'll be hanging from this cross member, which is already not even bolted in, and it's already very, very strong. In this entire joist area right here is where I'm going to be installing the batteries, and they'll hang down about 5 inches below the floor pan level, which is still higher than the water tanks. So it won't stick down below the water tanks. And then I'll have another cover that looks exactly like the covers for the water tanks that will cover the batteries. So this will all be watertight, weathertight, I should say. So for putting the batteries underneath, in the small area, there's a 4-inch duct that comes in, and then it's split into a 1-inch and then goes across to another 4-inch. Because I need it to go around the batteries, I made the 4-inch go into 3 2-inchers, one existing 2-incher, and then these 2 go around the batteries and go over to the other side of the batteries, and then they go 2 back into the 4. This is all to feed just that little vent that's right underneath the couch by the sink. So
for heat.
For heat, yeah.
Okay.
For heat from the furnace. So.
Okay. And why did you make these though? Because you moved things around, or why?
Because I'm installing batteries. It used to just be the 4-incher could go straight through, but now I'm putting the batteries there.
Where they were.
Right.
It's like bypassing what was there for heat and making it go around the battery.
Yep.
Okay, very cool. Let me zoom in on these, and let's put them in little buddy form.
Oh.
We were laughing about how it looks like this little guy. Look at him. Oh, he's so cute.
I actually had to switch to 4 2-inch rounds to get the correct flow rate. You can kind of see the final install. This is that pan cover that hangs down the same amount as the water tank covers. This little door, which I put in, which is hooked up to a 12-gauge extension cord that I'm using for ground deploy solar panels.
We are at the end of a 4-month trip that took us south and then west, and we had wonderful adventures that we are looking forward to sharing with you in upcoming videos. Regarding our new battery system, what did you think?
I'm happy with it. It performed well, no issues at all. So that was good. I'm a little surprised at how much power Starlink consumes. Mm-hmm. So working from the road 100%, I need Starlink all day, and Starlink uses a lot of power all day. So I would change our estimate now that we can go about 4 days without adding power back to our batteries. We can go 4 straight days. So.
And that still gives us the option to boondock, which we occasionally do, especially at harvest hosts. So, if we need a harvest host or 2 or 3 or even 4 on our way to a destination, we have the power to do that. So that's going to be really, really helpful. We hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please like, subscribe, and join us next time as we're out and about. Thanks for watching.